But discipline usually comes from the why and why you're doing it. And people usually get motivated and driven from the end goal rather than the journey itself. And that's what you'll find in most cases is the why and the end goal. So if you create a vision and you truly believe in that vision and you truly believe that I can do this, I know I can do this with these people around me, X, Y, Z, I'm going to get there, then the chances are you're going to be productive when you're getting results and when you're not getting results.
I think those are the same people that are like, they're called into a meeting at work, they're potentially going to lose their job. They go home, shit, I'm really productive. How am I going to make this work? I've got to do it all in one evening. Or they're the same people that on a Monday, they're very active. I really want to get my business going. But on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I'm just going to go live my best life. I've worked hard all week. I'm going to chill. Go back to work Monday. Fuck, like, how am I going to get out of this?
You see a lot of people on the outside.
But there's an amazing book that I want to recommend that's called Eat That Frog. And that's similar to what Josh was saying about doing, like, the hardest task of the day first. And that's a really good book for just getting shit done.
I think a lot of people watching this will be thinking, well, how do I get discipline? Because if you said to me when I worked a job, have you got discipline, Ryan? I think no, but that's because I didn't have a purpose. And then as soon as I realised, wow, there's a much bigger world out there than just trading my time for money for 50 years, and I can create wealth now, and I can learn a high-paid skill. My why then appeared in front of me.
Productivity, it's something that we need to all get better at, because the more productive you are, the better results you're going to get. So I don't know if anyone's got any tips about how they get on with things to make work easier for themselves. I'll start. Good tip, and I say this all the time, is to-do lists. So I'm still a notepad and pen person.
Oh, me too. And love that.
Yeah, I can't get on with just doing it on notes. But notepad and pen, on a Sunday evening, I like to write what I want to achieve throughout the week. And I always start by ticking one thing off on a Sunday evening, no matter what that is, because then you go into the week, psychologically, one step ahead. So that's one tip that I like. But yeah, productivity is a big talking point on what is needed to get from A to B. I think.
Go on, Josh.
I think it's important to have a productive routine. I think a lot of people waste, they'll have a routine, but it'd be things that ain't going to help them level up in life and stuff like that. So I think it's about having a routine, but a productive routine. And I think one thing that sort of helped me with, putting out tasks and stuff, maybe for the day or for the month or whatever it is, if it's for the day, I'll try and do the hardest thing first. So I'll get the hardest thing out of the way, and then it makes it a little bit easier to do all the tasks moving forward. So I think it's important to especially have a productive routine.
I think seeing business as a non-negotiable as well. I think going into business and having discipline. You're always going to be productive if you're disciplined. I think it's mainly the people that aren't disciplined that don't keep up the productivity, that they only do it when they're getting results. I'm productive because I'm getting results, but then as soon as their business maybe quietens down because there's more work that needs to be done to get consistent results, they put no work in. I'm feeling deflated, or I'm feeling this. Where's your routine? Where's your plan? Why are we not sticking to the plan? Why did we skip Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? So I think it's important that you have discipline. But discipline usually comes from the why and why you're doing it. And people usually get motivated and driven from the end goal rather than the journey itself. And that's what you'll find in most cases is the why and the end goal. So if you create a vision and you truly believe in that vision and you truly believe that I can do this, I know I can do this with these people around me, X, Y, Z, I'm going to get there, then the chances are you're going to be productive when you're getting results and when you're not getting results. It's usually the individuals that are the least productive when they don't truly believe or they don't truly believe they're going to make it, or they don't believe in their vision, or their why isn't strong enough. That's why they're not productive. Because if you knew, if I do this and this week in, week out for 6 months straight, I'm going to be in that place standing over there. They would be productive. Discipline would kick in. It'd be a non-negotiable. I've had a busy day at work. The kids have played up this evening. I've got stuck in traffic on the way home. okay, I said I was going to do it at 8 p.m. I'll do it at 9 p.m. because I was stuck in traffic. They will get it done regardless. But I truly believe because their why isn't strong enough, that's where they become less productive. They're like, oh, that's fine, I'll do that tomorrow because I got stuck in traffic today.
I think those are the same people that are like, they're called into a meeting at work, they're potentially going to lose their job. They go home, shit, I'm really productive. How am I going to make this work? I've got to do it all in one evening. Or they're the same people that on a Monday, they're very active. I really want to get my business going. But on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I'm just going to go live my best life. I've worked hard all week. I'm going to chill. Go back to work Monday. Fuck, like, how am I going to get out of this?
You see a lot of people you see a lot of people on the outside with that mentality as well. They'll only take action and be productive in creating the future when shit hits the fan. Absolutely. When they're comfortable, that's when they're the least productive because they're comfortable. What's the point of going home and building something great? It's only when shit hits the fan.
Comfort's the worst place to be.
Absolutely. And I get messages all the time. Ryan, me and my wife, we're almost splitting up because of finances and stuff like. I'm like, why didn't you act on this a year ago? Why did you not act on this 2 years ago? It's because always when shit hits the fan. And this is why I think it's important that you have something called discipline. And you can train your mind. There's plenty of books out there. I know you're a massive fan of books yourself, Alex, but there's plenty of books out there to train the mind and kind of go from a 9-to-5 mindset to a mission mindset. And you're focused and you're productive, and I think there's a lot of help that you can get if you're struggling with that kind of, how do I stay productive?
There's also a difference between the motivation. Everyone can watch a YouTube video that pumps you up for, I'm a wolf, I can do this.
1,000 quotes in their social media.
And then the next morning they're like, what am I doing? Whereas discipline is different. Discipline is setting tasks and being consistent with these tasks over a long period of time. Look at a good example is people who go to the gym. They're consistent with wanting to change their body. Well, it's the same with business. A lot of people think, and this is my biggest sort of bugbear, is just because you're working on your business, you're doing the right thing. Absolutely. You could spend 12 hours a day just working on your business. You could be getting nowhere. You could be doing pointless tasks that are just getting you nowhere. Or you could work a bit smarter. You can, obviously we're not going to go into this today, but automate things, outsource things, whatever that might be. Work a couple of hours. You still get further quicker by doing the right tasks, and that's discipline as well. Doing the right things when you need to be doing as well.
You'll get 10 times further in your journey just by having structure and a routine. Structure and a routine.
I think a lot of people that break that routine will be distracted by distractions like that are not going to help them. So it's about sort of trying to eliminate the distractions that ain't going to help you level up in life, whatever it is. If you're just sitting there watching Netflix or whatever, is that going to help you? No, it's not. Let's prioritize a little bit. Let's have that routine so I can really create and scale a business online.
What's key is to see what works for you in terms of the business point, because it's right, like what might work for you might not necessarily work for me. And I was reading a book, because you said I like books, so I'll read a book by Ali Abdul, and it's all about productivity. And he makes things more of like a game, so he's a bit of a gamer geek, and what he makes boring tasks into like an actual game. So for example, he'll set an hour aside every day, and he'll be like, right, I need to complete these tasks. How many did I complete last week? 5. All right, I need to do the same task and do 6, and then he'll see how many he does in an hour but he's getting quicker, and he's getting tasks done, but he's turning it into more of like an interactive game. So he's actually making it more fun. So then boring mundane tasks or the admin tasks, he's actually making it a bit more enjoyable, and it's just trying to get what works for you.
And the results just happen. So when you're just focused on what you need to do, the results just happen. It just happens. The money comes in, and so I think it's important to understand that when you've got a routine, it's important not to break that routine. And a mentor once told me before, once you break the routine once, it's easier to break it the second time. It's even easier to break it the third time. It's even easier to break it the fourth time. Before you know, you've got no consistency, no discipline, everything is gone. So before you say no, think of the damage that's going to be dealt in the long run from saying no once.
I think it's exactly what you said, that it's a non-negotiable. Like, you have to do that, whatever that may be. And I'm like Alex, I like a to-do list. And recently Brooks just started school, so I found myself with all this time in the day, and I woke up one morning, I had loads to do, like business around the house and stuff, but I had no real plan of action for the day, because I was like, oh, this is new, I've got all these hours of the day. 3 o'clock come around and I was sitting waiting to get her, and I literally achieved nothing. And I was like, what the fuck? I've just wasted a whole day. Yeah. So you do need to be...
If you plan it the night before, right, by this time I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm quite... what's the word I'm looking for? It's not too bad for me because I've got a military structure. So I'm used to having everything structured. So I still do that from my day. But for everyone who's not been in that sort of environment, it's quite alien, especially if you then got time. Well, that can be your biggest weakness as well.
It's
if you've got so much time, it's like, I'll do it later.
Exactly.
And later comes around, you see I've done it, and then it's like, oh my God.
And I can be really, really guilty of just procrastinating. I'll do that later. I'll do it when the kids are in bed. That'll be easier. And then I'm like, I'm so tired from the day. I'm just going to go to sleep, actually.
I'll get up early and do it tomorrow.
Yeah. But there's an amazing book that I want to recommend. It's called Eat That Frog. And that's similar to what Josh was saying about doing like the hardest task of the day first. And that's a really good book for... just getting shit done.
I think a lot of people watching this will be thinking, well, how do I get discipline? Because if you said to me when I worked a job, have you got discipline, Brian? I think no, but that's because I didn't have a purpose.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I realised, wow, there's a much bigger world out there than just trading my time for money for 50 years, and I can create wealth now, and I can learn a high-paid skill. My why then appeared in front of me. It was in my vision. My why, as I drive home from work every day, not only thinking about when I get home, I'm going to eat, have a shower, spend half an hour with Tami. Then me and Tami are going to jump on the laptops and do work and build our empire. Not waiting for shit to hit the fan. We're going to do it now. As I'm driving home, I'm thinking of my little girls. I'm thinking of my mum and dad. I'm thinking about the life that I want to give me and Tami. Travel the world, see the world together, and never having to worry about money. All of that is building discipline, and it makes my tasks when I get home a non-negotiable. Regardless whether I'm getting results or not right now, it's a non-negotiable. All of these things I'm constantly obsessed with in my mind. If that's going to become a reality, this has to be done. And you enjoy the journey when you've got that why. You enjoy the journey because of the why.
Yeah. So with that, that's like the theory side is the why. But then to put it into practical terms, how do I do that? So then you need to set goals.
Yeah.
And then you need to reverse engineer it. So 12-month goal, it could be in 12 months' time, I've got one of my products into a retail store. Cool. Right. How do I do that? You need to reverse engineer it. Well, what do I need to do from a 6-month point of view? Well, I need to probably get my business into 5 local companies to give me the credibility to then approach the retailer.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. 3-month goal. How do I even get to that?
Point.
Right. I need to test. I need to find what works. And you need to reverse engineer it. And then on a daily basis, I think I need to send 50 emails out and it all spirals from there.
Absolutely.
But the long-term plan is I know that I want to be financially, for whatever your goal is or whatever your why is, we need to work backwards. Well, how am I going to achieve that? And that's definitely
just having a plan in place. But I think like a lot of people waste time doing pointless shit.
Of course they do.
Do you know what I mean?
And tell themselves they're working on their business.
I'm a wolf.
If they're happy doing that, that's fine. But they're going to stay average. I'm pretty sure everyone watching this podcast is in it to break free of that average lifestyle.
Of course, if you're watching this, you are wanting to achieve and you're wanting to change. So you're doing the right thing already.
Yeah,
it's weird how your mind can you create something in your mind. So for me, there was one time where I used to vision, I've got all of these bricks, and in order for me to get to the top, I need to build a tower with these bricks.
Yeah.
And each day, one more brick goes on. But if I stop here, I've got half a tower. I've got a quarter of a tower. I'm never going to get to the top. I'm never going to... My why and my vision is here. And every day is one more brick.
It's compounding, isn't it? It's a compounding effect.
Yeah, it's like it's just the little steps as well.
Yeah.
It's the little steps. I see something the other day with it was like a GIF or something on Instagram with like 2 pictures, like a ladder.
I
like 2
just thought of that in my head.
Yeah, and there's like one ladder with little steps that go up, and then someone else next to it with big massive gaps, and it's like can't get to that first step because you've got no little steps in place to get to that big step.
Yeah.
And that little one, they're just climbing up nice.
He's taking his time climbing up.
What's the phrase? Rome wasn't built in a day, but was it done brick by brick?
I've heard that phrase.
Great.
It's prioritising certain tasks, you know.
But imagine the people that built that Colosseum as an example. If they couldn't be asked today.
Yeah,
they got no structure. They don't know what it's going to look like, what the building's going to look like. They're not going to turn up every day because they can't be asked. You know, like that would have never been built. And it's the same as any business. It's the exact same. If you're not productive and you're not putting the work in and you're not consistent, me personally, I will never understand why I understand why, but also I don't understand why people wouldn't be productive. You're building an empire. You're building something that's going to enable you to live your best life. Why would you not be productive? But I do get it. It's because their why is not strong enough. You usually see this, and I'm not painting everybody with the same brush, but you usually see this from people that are very comfortable financially.
Comforts,
financially.
Terrible place to be in.
Absolutely.
And I hate that word, comfortable.
They built a business. It's a successful business. I'll speak to someone who does recruitment. Built a very successful recruitment business, generating $1 million a year. And he sits there and he thinks to himself, and this is his words to me, I've made it. Because he's comparing himself to all his other mates that work 9 to 5s. But then when I look at you, I'm thinking you're nowhere near your full potential. You're saying you've made that. You've made it with $1 million a year.
Yeah.
I can do that in X amount. You know, that you've not made it. But now it's comfort again. So when you look at what he does on a day-to-day basis, he's not productive. You know, traveling the world isn't being productive. You know, it's you're creating memories and you're doing nice things, but there's more that you could be doing with your time. You could be building another empire. You could be scaling that current empire. But he's got to a point, he's sat back, and you kind of see that with a lot of people. People with 9 to 5s that say they hate their jobs but don't actually hate their jobs. That's why they're still there and they're doing nothing about it. They're not productive. They've been given a drug, which is a salary to keep them comfortable, keep them in their job, look forward to your weekends. So they're not productive. A percentage of people at the top are not productive because they've got to where they've always envisioned they wanted to be, but there's levels above that. But so they're not productive with their time. I think when you've got a why, a strong enough why, you are then in return just productive. You don't have to say to yourself, shall I do this? You will do it regardless of how it's kind of autopilot. It's like somebody working a 9 to 5. They gets up, gets dressed, jumps in the car. They don't even think about how they feel. They don't think about how tired they feel, how shit their job is, how unhappy they are. They just do it. It's autopilot. And that's the same when you've got a strong why. When you're constantly thinking about my kids, my family, my future, retiring my parents, traveling the world with my missus, creating memories. You're on autopilot. When you get home, you don't even know you're doing it. You're opening up your laptop, bang, 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 and you're building an empire.
I'm terrible for it. When I'm on holidays, I'm on my laptop, I'm thinking...
It's forcing yourself into it, isn't it?
Because you're wiring your vision at it.
But a lot of people, some people are a little bit like, I'm a little bit old school, like with like a notepad and pen, so I write stuff down. But there's so many things out there now as well. No, but there's so many things out there. Like there's apps out there that can remind you and give you alarms and stuff like that.
It's finding what works for you.
It pushes you a little bit more. It's like, I forgot about that. I've got to get shit done. You know, so
I think
accountability apps.
And I think one of the main issues, especially people starting out today, is they'll look at, I don't know, a company that's turning over 20-30 million and they'll be like, right, I just need to do what they've done. Well, no, because what works in year 10 for them isn't going to work for someone who's just starting out. I mean, the thing, people trial that and they'll try and whatever route it is and then fail within a week or two and then be like, oh, clearly it doesn't work.
Absolutely.
When you need to start in the trenches, doing things day in, day out, consistency and consistently. Cut that. No, consistency will get you from there, but you just need to not focus on companies that are just like it's like someone trying to be Apple.
I said it the other day. I said everyone starts at the bottom. And no one starts as an expert. So it's having, I know we spoke about it earlier about having people around you and stuff like that, but it helps because they give you a little bit of accountability of how to, create a plan for productivity moving forward as well. So
starting at the bottom with consistency, 6 months, you could be 100 times higher than the people at the bottom.
Of course you can.
You could be on, and those people at the bottom will look at someone who's done it for 6 months and think they've done it for years. So don't underestimate the power of consistency, but what comes with discipline is consistency. Without discipline, if you rely on motivation, you're fucked because motivation comes and goes, which means you're inconsistent. Discipline brings consistency brings results builds you empire. 100%. So it's important that you understand that structure, and the way you get discipline is your why. It always comes back to your why. And when somebody says to me, and you will know this, Josh, I'm thinking of giving it a go, don't waste my time. Don't waste Josh's time, Alex's time, Tammy's time, our team's time. Stay exactly where you are. Because giving it a go is not the attitude that gets you to where you need to be.
You're basically giving up straight away.
It's saying I will only work when I'm motivated. I'll only work when I feel like it. So don't bother wasting your time.
So this is what I'm talking about on the masterminds and stuff now. This is B2B with me. It's not a side hustle. I ain't interested in your side hustle. You're going to do business,
an empire.
So don't be like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get some money on the side so then I can quit my job. No, this is your business. So treat it like your business.
100%. Look at the member you've been mentoring. You showed me just before this podcast. 92 B2B deals.
Yeah, so he's got his coffee in 92 places around in the UK and 17 places in America.
And just opened up his own
hotel with 22 rooms.
Started with no experience.
He was a chef. Okay, and he joined 3 years ago. I'm not gonna.
Well, he changed his life in year 1.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drop his name, but you've seen him at some of the events, and he's just.
But 1 year changed his life.
100%.
But again, that's a member with a vision, a purpose.
And he didn't start with 92 coffee establishments.
No,
he started with. Oh, I wouldn't mind selling coffee. All right, how did he get there? And it's breaking it down.
One step at a time.
100%.
Found a supplier, found the coffee, tested the coffee. I believe he then went with a second supplier, wasn't happy with the coffee. All the information at his fingertips, by the way. And then was learning B2B through you, followed Alex's strategies, got my first B2B deal. I got my second B2B deal. And it's that consistency, but he was consistent before he got the results. His 92 coffee places are bringing him a gross of 45k a month. Okay. All automated now. He's got someone who runs it for him. All automated. Okay. He didn't day one go, right, what cost of coffee doing? I need to copy that. All right. Other than the coffee part. He took it, right, what do I need to do on a daily basis to get to my 3-month goal, my 6-month, my 12-month goal? And now he's managed to buy his own restaurant, hotel. He's also bought a warehouse. 2 separate businesses, restaurant and a hotel.
And a warehouse, a third one, which he's going to turn into like a smokehouse barbecue.
Oh my God.
And that was from the coffee money. So everything he's got to wear.
Just incredible. But that comes all the way back down to productivity. But productivity, if you've got a vision, just stay consistent. The best thing I love about e-commerce, and this isn't the same for all business models, is I would say through what I see, feedback, messages, phone calls, Zooms, 99% of members enjoy e-commerce. And when you just enjoy what you do, the consistency comes from that also.
Naturally.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Because you enjoy it. Once you enjoy stuff, you do more of it. And more of it.
Cool. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
That was a good
Absolutely,
podcast.
Thank you so much.